hurry up and respond to my messages. You had your hospital appointment today, right? I thought I told you to tell me what the doctor said.
Hi, Hannah. I'm sorry, I was having lunch. Thank you for worrying about me.
I wasn't worried about you. I want to know about the baby. He'll be taking over our family business in the future, so of course I need to know if he's healthy. You took your time getting pregnant, but it was worth the wait. And I've been waiting a long time for this. You know the sex, don't you? Please tell me it's a baby boy.
Well, I heard the sex, but does it really matter?
Don't be ridiculous. Of course it matters. I want my answer. Is it a boy or girl? What did the doctor say?
He said that it'll be a boy. At least, that's what it looks like at the moment.
Really? It's a boy. Thank God. I'll be having a grandson. I'm so glad. It was worth all the trouble up until now. Kevin will finally be having a baby boy. Now I won't have to worry about the family business.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why are you so obsessed with the sex all of a sudden?
What are you talking about? Kevin's my eldest son. We needed you to give birth to a boy, or we wouldn't have anyone to take over the business after Kevin's grown old and retired. We don't have any use for a girl, so you did a good job giving us a boy. But make sure you keep him healthy. If he's born big and strong, then you'll have completed your mission as a good wife. Thank goodness Kevin found a young girl like you. There's less risk of having a miscarriage. Well, it's a shame you're already almost 30. But considering there's a 12-year age gap between you and Kevin, he did very well.
You gave us your blessing because I was young? Not because you thought we would make each other happy?
Don't be so naive. Did you really think that? I would have never let my Kevin marry a poor woman from a family with no history like yours if you weren't young. Being young was the only thing that made you better than the other candidates.
Oh, really? I never knew that you thought of me like that. I'm kinda shocked. I thought you were happy for us.
Well, you've given us a boy. That's all that matters. You've proved your worth. Unlike all of the other useless women that came before you, you should be proud.
The women that came before me? What do you mean?
Are you really sure it's going to be a boy? Did you look at the ultrasound yourself? If it isn't a boy, I'll be very disappointed.
It's not 100%, but the doctor said that it looks like it'll be a boy.
What? It's not 100%? What's that supposed to mean? Is it a boy or isn't it?
The doctor warned me that a prenatal test is never definite. They said they can't promise that it'll be born a boy, but it's likely that it will be. We'll just have to wait until the baby's born to see. I don't mind whether it's a boy or a girl, so it'll be a nice surprise either way.
I don't want a surprise, I want a boy! Technology is supposed to be so advanced nowadays, why can't they give us a simple answer? They should be ashamed to call themselves doctors if they can't even tell whether it's going to be a boy or girl. The family business is resting on this. Go back to the hospital and confirm whether it's a boy or girl. Otherwise, I won't acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law.
Acknowledge me? I'm sorry, are you being serious? I've already married Kevin. Whether you like me or not, nothing will change that. And whether I have a son or not has nothing to do with you, too. What do you plan to do if the baby turns out to be a girl?
If it's a girl, then I have no choice. We won't need you anymore, so you'll have to leave. There's no point in keeping you as my son's wife if you can't even do something as simple as give birth to a boy.
Wow. Well, at least I know how you actually feel about me. By the way, what did you mean when you said the women that came before me earlier? Has Kevin married before?
You don't know. I guess he hasn't told you.
About what?
Kevin's already been married 3 times.
What? He never told me anything. Why didn't either of you tell me that?
Then it just means that he didn't think it was necessary to tell you. Well, it doesn't matter to me. That was his decision to make. It's not like we have an obligation to tell you anything. You're just a housewife.
Wait a minute. This is too sudden. Why did they get divorced? Did he want to leave them, or did they each tell him they wanted a divorce?
They couldn't give us a boy. Each one of them got pregnant, but when we found out that they would be girls, we had no use for them.
What? Because they were pregnant with girls? Did you hear that from the doctors? Hang on, so that means that Kevin already has children with several other women?
That's right, he has one child with every ex-wife, if you count them as his children. They were all useless women that could only give birth to girls, so I don't consider them to be my grandchildren. It was a shame that Kevin had to waste his time with them. You should be careful, and make sure you don't end up the same way. You've got to give us a boy.
It's not a matter of whether I take care or not. I can't control whether I have a boy or girl. Does Kevin agree with you on this? Is that what he's really thinking as well? That he wants a boy over a girl?
What? Of course he does. What do you expect? He agrees with me on putting the business first. He knows that we need a boy, and that's why he brought you, because you're young.
So I'm the same as the other 3 women he married? I'm just a womb whose only use is to prepare an heir to your business? I'm just a tool to you.
Well put. That's exactly what you're here for. I'm glad you understand, and I hope you can meet that expectation. But the 3 other women ended up being useless, so I wonder how you'll turn out. I wouldn't be surprised if you were just as useless, considering your background.
I can't believe I even have to say this. We're not your tools. I'm not here to push out babies for you.
Then what else could you possibly do? More importantly, that doctor is no good. He's always so vague about the sex. He needs to tell us which it is clearly, or we really have to wait until the baby is born to decide whether to throw you out. Maybe I should find another doctor to look at you. But first, let's go visit the doctor you saw today and have them check again. You might have misheard them or remembered incorrectly.
Excuse me? You want me to go to the hospital again?
Together? I'll make him give us an answer on what the sex is. Are you ready? I want you to come and collect me in 15 minutes.
I have to go and collect you? I'm pregnant.
You have a car, so it'll be easier for you to come here. You really are inconsiderate.
Why on earth should I go to you?
Anyway, make sure you're not late.
I spoke on the phone with Kevin about the results of the ultrasound, but he told me he was busy and to ask you instead. He only told me that he didn't care as long as you were happy, and that I should follow your orders.
He's such a good son. Then that makes things much simpler. I want you to divorce my son.
I'm not so surprised now that I know what you both really want. The doctor said that the probability of it being a girl was high when they did the ultrasound again, so I guess that confirms things for you. Fine, I accept the divorce. I don't think I could spend another day with this family knowing what you actually think of me, so I'll leave happily. Let's get this over and done with.
Don't worry, it'll be over in no time. I had the divorce papers prepared ever since you got married to my son, just in case. They've already been filed in on my son's side, signatures and all, so all you have to do is fill out your section. I'm sure I handed them to you after the ultrasound. Do you have them?
Yes, you gave them to me. I have them right here. I wanted to do this after talking things through with Kevin and hearing how he really feels about all this. But he said that he didn't care and doesn't seem to be very interested in staying together, so I'll fill them out straight away. I'll give you your divorce.
I'm glad you understand. Then that's that. We won't have anything to do with one another.
You said you want me to divorce your son because I'm not pregnant with a boy, right? I think that means I have a right to file for a fault divorce. Will you agree to a settlement?
You've got nerve asking about something like that. Just because you can blame us doesn't mean you can use this as a chance to leech off of us.
That wasn't my intention. I was just thinking about my child's future. I'll be raising them alone and won't be able to work for a while, so I'll need child support.
Fine, whatever you say. Next, we'll have to look for a woman who's from a prestigious family and won't ask for something as shallow as money. It was my mistake letting my son marry someone like you. How much do you want? I'll have the money transferred to your bank account. Happy?
In regards to the child support, I'd like to speak with a lawyer first before deciding anything here. I don't want to go back and forth if you don't agree to what I ask. But other than the child support, I'd like to be compensated.
Yes, whatever. We'll pay it, just as long as you leave us alone after the divorce. But don't expect us to pay alimony permanently. You've only been married to Kevin for less than a year, so you don't deserve anything more than temporary. If you disagree, then we'll have to take this to court. You should already know by now that we have the money to pay for the best attorneys.
I'd like $10,000 paid into my account as compensation. I'll be demanding child support separately after talking to my lawyer and calculating how much I'll need.
You're asking for more than I expected, but there's no helping it. If this means that we won't have anything to do with you and you won't bother us, then fine, we'll pay it. Consider it done.
Could you transfer it right now? I'd prefer that we clear that up so that we can avoid any problems. It's not like we have a contract, so I don't want you to be going back on your word.
Fine, I'm going to the bank right now, but that's it. The talk about child support will be dealt with between our lawyers, and I don't want any contact from you. Don't come near my Kevin either.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've already returned to my parents' house. I don't want anything to do with you or your son either, and I hope you won't bother me and my family after my baby is born.
I'm fine with that. I have no intention of going to see you or your daughter. I've transferred $10,000. Goodbye.
By the way, you reminded me when you just referred to my baby as my daughter. But I think you were there when the doctor said that they couldn't be sure that it would be a girl either.
Well, yes, but he said it was possible that it could be a girl. He's always clouding his answers, but if he says that there's a chance it could be a girl, then we don't want it.
Apparently it's normal for doctors to say that. It's typical for doctors to be unclear about what the sex of a baby is because it's not certain until the baby's born.
What do you mean?
After we went to have the ultrasound done, I was a bit curious, so I called Kevin's younger brother's wife, Lydia, and I asked about Kevin's previous marriages. This might be a bit of a shock to you, but I heard that Kevin's first and third wife gave birth to sons after you made Kevin divorce them.
What? That can't be true! You must be joking. They were all told that they would be having girls. That's why I had Kevin divorce them. How could they give birth to boys if they were told they could be pregnant with girls?
That's just how they phrase it. The doctor tells us that they're sure that it'll be a baby boy, but says that it could be either, so that the parents don't get too preoccupied on what the sex is. Tests aren't 100% definitive, and you never know if the baby you were told was a girl might just have had underdeveloped sexual organs. That's why they keep their answers vague.
So you're telling me that that quack doctor lied to me? And if Kevin's ex-wives really did give birth to boys, then why haven't they told us? Why should I believe you when they haven't said anything?
I'm telling you, it's not definitive. That doesn't make the doctor a liar. As for Kevin's exes, maybe they're just annoyed with you and don't want you to ruin their child's lives, with all this talk about boys and tools and stuff. I heard that they don't want to have anything to do with you. Lydia told me that her husband is a second son, and they live pretty far away, so they have it much easier since they don't have to deal with you so much. But she feels bad that she couldn't be there for me.
Wait a second. If Kevin's ex-wives have 2 sons, then that means that we already have 2 candidates to take over the family business. This is perfect.
Yes, I suppose that would mean that, but you've already put restraining orders on Kevin's exes, haven't you? You said that you didn't want to have anything to do with them, and asked that they don't ever come near you, just like you just said to me.
Of course I did. What else could I have done? They might come asking for money in return for them not telling the neighbors about their children.
Then I guess that means that you can't see their children either. How ironic.
That's ridiculous. They're my grandchildren. They're my heirs.
Also, even if my baby turns out to be a boy, I don't plan on letting you meet him. Of course, even if it's a girl, I won't let you come near her. Once you've paid the child support, I don't want to have any contact. Oh, don't say that. It'll be better for the child if he has both parents, and he'll want to know his grandmother. I believe you can give us a boy, so why don't you come back? Let's forget about this divorce. I'll let you live in my house and I'll take care of the housework. You're still pregnant, so you should relax. What do you think? Oh, you're a bit too late. I've already filed the divorce papers. What a shame. Huh? Already? Isn't that too fast? I thought it was too fast as well, but, monster-in-laws have a reputation for complaining that things are too late. I thought I should file it as soon as possible. I didn't want to be a pain in the ass if I didn't file it on time, and I wanted to cut ties with you and your son as soon as possible. My brother is a lawyer, so I'll be able to talk to him about the child support straight away, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But I'll be writing up a restraining order, so from now on, you'll have to contact my lawyer when you need to discuss something. Please don't ever call me again. You're the worst mother-in-law. And now that I think about it, with his ideals, Kevin is way too old for me. Plus, he's balding. I think remarrying him is out of the question. After that, Leah consulted her brother and managed to decide on a settlement with Kevin and his mother. She requested that it be paid in one go so that she wouldn't have to have contact with them ever again. Hannah had to prepare the entire amount within days because of Kevin's complaint that it made them look bad if they didn't pay Leah as soon as possible. Apparently she was reluctant when it came to signing the restraining order, but when Leah offered to decrease the amount Hannah had to pay in child support, she accepted the conditions and gave in. A few months later, Leah's baby was born, and she announced that it was a baby boy. Of course, she had no intention of letting Kevin or Hannah meet him. Unfortunately for Kevin, he had lost a lot more hair and gained a few more pounds since Leah had left, and he was having trouble finding someone that was willing to marry him. Karma does exist after all.